Hey Rebekah, this is Elliot. You don't know me, obviously, and I found your Facebook through looking up softly Galoshes through the search bar, and somebody actually tagged you or tagged this profile. I don't even necessarily know if it's you, and if it's not you, and I send you this message, I guess that's awkward, but I don't. I totally okay with that. I could have easily have just sent you a worded message, but I just didn't feel like typing, and I knew I was going to type a lot. And I could just say this as, I could just say thank you, for, changing my life with your videos, but that seems so generic as well. And I feel like with what you've done for my life, you deserve so much more than that. I don't necessarily know if you're ever going to watch this, but I hope you do, and I hope that you understand how much your videos, helped some random person that you don't even know. I'm going to try as quickly as I can to get through the last 13 years of my life. I mean, a little bit before that. When I was a kid, growing up, I was raised by a single mom. I never knew my dad, and my mom was basically my best friend. We did everything, and it got to the point where I didn't really have any friends, mostly because I didn't feel like I needed them. That concept didn't even come into my mind until high school, like the idea of hanging out with friends outside of school, because I always hung out with my mom. Like, we both had a Disneyland pass, like, we both had a SeaWorld pass, like, I went to the movies with her. I didn't need anybody else, really. My mom grew up, and she really didn't know how to express love in the traditional sense of the word. I was never underprivileged. I always had a roof over my head. I always had clothes. I was always fed 3 meals a day. Again, I had a Disneyland pass. I had a SeaWorld pass. Monetarily, I was set for life. Emotionally, I had nothing, essentially. She never knew how to give praise. Being Asian, I had the stereotypical Asian mom, which was just somebody who wanted you to get A's, and if you got, like, a C on a test, like, she wanted you to get B's, and if you got B's, she wanted you to get A's, and if you got A's, well, then the only reason why you got it was because she pushed you to be there. So, like, there's no praise there either. And that's what I grew up with. I grew up with getting yelled at every day for something. It didn't matter what. And I'm not an aggressive child. I didn't know how to fight back. I didn't have brothers or sisters. I didn't have other relatives or anything. I just had myself. And eventually I would just shut down, and that's just how I coped with that for 18 years of my life. In 2004 in high school, that I obtained my first serious relationship, and it's the one that basically shaped the rest of my life. Prior to this girl, I didn't care about anything, really. I didn't take pictures. I didn't care about memories. I didn't even take pictures my entire high school year up until the last day when my mom got me one of those Polaroid camera, or one of those disposable cameras, and I took pictures with my friends. Beyond that, I didn't really have any memories of my life, because I didn't care. Being an only child, I just kind of assumed that anytime I ever broke something, or if I messed something up, I could fix it, given enough trying and whatnot. And I broke up with this girl, and I broke up because I let my mom was always the problem solver. She always knew what to do, and I kept going to my mom with problems that I had with this girl, which were not really problems at all, obviously, because I'm in high school. It was just problems like, she didn't hang out with me at recess, and it made me sad, and we couldn't hang out outside of school, and it made me sad. And so, at a certain point, she said to break up with this girl. There's no reason for you to be with this girl. You should break up with her. This girl was, her name is Kristen. She showed me nothing but emotional love. And at this portion of my life, I didn't care. I didn't care about that at all. And my mom was always right. And so eventually I just broke up with her. For the next 5 years of my life, I found out what depression is. I couldn't concentrate in college. Right outside of high school, my mom, she basically said that she stopped paying for stuff. I had to pay for rent to live in her house. I had to take the bus because I didn't have a car. I had to get my own job in order to pay for my own school. At which point I stopped caring about school because I couldn't care about anything. All I cared about was getting this girl back. I eventually went back, and she was a completely different person. And so what she became was a symbol. And it was a symbol of somebody that I wanted to be better. I wanted to be emotional. I wanted to care about things. I wanted to care about memories. I wanted to care about life. And I wanted to remember everything. I wanted to actively care. And so for the next 5 years of my life, I dedicated it to one thing. And it was to find somebody else that I could pour all of this love into. Coupled with that, because the world has to be both positive and negative to balance itself out, I found out what depression was. I found out how sad I could potentially get because I didn't have anybody. I didn't have my mom, who was my one source of love, or I thought, even though she couldn't emotionally love me at all. She couldn't give me a hug as a kid. And when I asked her about it, she said that it was because I didn't ask. I traded Kristen's love for my mom's, and she just dropped me. And so I got into cutting, and I cut a K into my arm, and it was in 3 separate lines, and my thought process on that was it was just going to be one line, but then like at a certain point, because it was never about killing myself, it was about making myself feel as ugly as I felt on the inside. The ugliness that people can't see. The ugliness that you feel inside and people don't see it. And you feel it all the time, and that's how you see yourself. And so there'd always be a point where I would stop cutting, and then I'd have to wait for it to heal so that I could bleed again. And so that's when I came up with, since it was like the letter K for Kristen, doing it in 3 separate lines, I could rotate. I could cut one, and then the next day, while waiting for the first one to heal, you could cut the other line, and so on. And I did this on and off for 2 years. And it made me feel in control of stuff. It made me feel like I could control some amount of my feelings. And it also made me remember everything. And it made me care. When I finished, like, it made me care about people and about things. It humbled me in its own weird, sick, twisted way. Eventually, 5 years later, I get into a relationship with a girl who creates problems all the time. Because she knows that I like solving problems. And at this point, I'm like the strongest that I've ever been. I'm like so ready for a relationship. I feel like for 5 years, I've just been dedicating myself to what would I do? How would I be perfect? And so I finally find this girl, and her name is Brianna, and she takes all of that and just uses it endlessly and complains about everything. and nothing ever matters, and it's just this really bad relationship for on and off 3 years. And it's just this person that just complains all the time about anything. And so I end that. And for 5 years, I get into line dance, which if you feel like watching the rest of my channel, that's what all of that is. And I start honing a skill that actually makes me popular among people, and I start having actual friends. But within these 5 years, I don't go on anything that would even be considered a date. Eventually, after the course of 5 years, I meet this girl named Jackie. And by this point in my life, I understand that words of affirmation is my thing. We talk about 5 love languages all the time. And you know, she reads the book, and I read the book. And at every single step of our relationship, she can't do words. She's not an emotional person. She's a logical person, and she just doesn't care. Things don't bother her. Every day is just a new day. I'm with this person for 1.5 years, which brings me to today. 2 months ago, we broke up. I currently live with her. I moved into a place with her and my friend and his girlfriend. And our relationship, ever since we moved in, it just started deteriorating into nothing. Everything just got so convenient. Everything just became easy in the worst ways. Where when we didn't live together, we could only see each other like twice a week because we live far. And so then we figured that if we lived with each other, that we could see each other all the time. And she has like a 9-hour-a-day job. And so we basically still didn't see each other. And then we stopped texting because we would just see each other later. We stopped actively trying to hang out because we would just see each other the next day. And then the next day would never come. And the talking would never come. And it got to a point where I had nothing. Words of affirmation, even though she knew how important it was for me, she just couldn't do it. She kept giving me excuses for why. She kept feeling like she was trying, but she wasn't. It was like an event for her. Like, I'll be nice to you. Like, I'll be, like a relationship where, you know, like they do something nice for you on Valentine's Day and your birthday and Christmas and nothing else. And then they feel like that should hold you over. Or they did that nice thing. They checked that box. When in actuality, it's something that you want all the time. In terms of 5 love languages, words of affirmation is the only thing that I've ever wanted. From my mom, from Brianna, from this girl, from everybody in my life, words of affirmation is the only thing I've ever needed. And I didn't even realize how much I needed it until I found your videos. Cutting was always a thing that I've always been able to fall back on. No matter how sad I was always able to just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna cut and I'll be okay. This'll humble me. I'll be sad about stuff. You know, it'll focus me, and you know, like I'll, you know, as much of a terrible thing that is to say, like it was always the thing that I could fall back on. no matter how sad my life got. I watched your caring friend video about depression. The one where you said that it was okay to feel whatever feelings that you have. I watch that video every day because it was this video. Depression is so hard to talk about, for people to talk about it with you, because there are just so many like defenses that you can get, especially as a depressed person, a person with depression and anxiety. There are so many defenses that your brain builds up. I'm very aware of things, and that's why it's very hard for people to be my friend or to be anything for me, because I'm just so aware of things. Like if they start to say, you know, oh, you should probably go see a doctor, you're automatically just blocking them out. You can just automatically hear that switch. Because that's not what you want to hear. It's not what you want to hear when you're about to, like, when you want to kill yourself. Like, that's not what you want to hear. You just want somebody to care about you. But they have to care in a very specific tone, in a very specific way. They can't just be aggressive about it. They have to say specific words. They have to say words. They have to say the words in a specific way. In your video, like that you made about caring friend depression, I had to stop the video. I'm not a crying type person. Like I have a lot of emotions, and for some reason I don't cry. Maybe because I've never felt safe to, but I was watching that and I had to pause it for like a solid 5 different times because it was just too much. It was just the most perfect thing anybody could ever say to me. I couldn't write a better script. Like, you know, like I couldn't tell somebody to say a better thing. It was that by the end of that video, after watching it, I was just like, I never want to cut again. As a life decision, I don't even, it was like my promise to you, like some invisible person that I didn't even know. Somebody that didn't even know me, and it was just like, it was just so powerful. Your words were just so powerful. You have like 6 or 7 different videos that are all based around depression and anxiety and, you know, like a caring friend person, or waking up next to like a girlfriend roleplay video. And in all honesty, you don't even really need to make any new videos. I can rotate that for the rest of my life. I still live with my ex. We definitely broke up because she was never able to give me words, and words was the only thing I needed. And at no point during a course of an entire relationship was she ever able to do that. And it was just me waiting and waiting for her to do it. And she couldn't. And so when I found your videos and I found out what words of affirmation really is, it changed my life. It changed my whole life. It changed everything. She sleeps in my friend's room because he broke up with his ex 3 days after I broke up with Jackie. And now they sleep in the same room. Whatever that means. Nights have been difficult, to say the least. Just being here at all is difficult. And I just wanted to tell you, I just needed to express to you that your videos have been changing my life. Not only does it make it easier to get through the night, because that was impossible for a couple of nights there. The very first night that she decided to move out of my room and sleep in his room, because I told her, because she thought that we were all just equally friends. And I said, if we were all, in my anger, I was like, well, if we're all equally friends and you can sleep here with me, then you can sleep there with him. And she did. And she's never come back. And now we're not even friends. I don't want to talk to her at all about anything. I don't want to see her. I don't want anything to do with her. Or him, really. Because they're not the kind of people that I need in my life. They're logical, non-emotional people. They don't care about emotions. They don't deal with emotions. They just kind of pack it away in a box. And I can't do that. The time that I could do that, it's over from so long ago. I can't be that person anymore. I don't want to be. I'll always be an emotional person that cares about everything. I just wanted to say thank you. I know that ASMR did not start with you, and it's not going to end with you. And that there are a bazillion different YouTube channels. But trust me when I say that you are my favorite one. Because it's not just about the act. It's not just like a job. Like you have videos out there that showcase so much that you care. And that you know what it's like to not be cared for. You know what that's like to be lonely, and you know what that's like to not be able to sleep at night because of something. You know what heartbreak is. You know what dark, deep emotions are. And I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like, I'm not going to be, like, making different videos for different people. Like, this is the only one. I have this as unlisted, so I'm going to give you the link that you have is the only way you can see this. But I just wanted to say thank you for changing my life, for changing my perspective on my life, for showing me what I deserve. Because I didn't even know what words of affirmation was before your videos at all. I had a loose idea of what it would be like. But it was always just like a dream. Because nobody in my life has ever treated me like that. Like the things that you say in your videos. Then nobody has ever said anything close to that. I've been in 2 relationships, and my mom, like, and none of these people, and all my friends, just none of these people have never given me that amount of words with that kind of sincerity and with that kind of feeling. And if I can even find a person half the emotional capacity of you, it'd be amazing. I just wanted to say thank you. I just wanted to say that from somebody who doesn't even know you, and from somebody who doesn't, you know, like, I don't even know if you're going to watch this. If you do, you don't have to respond to this at all. But I just wanted you to know that because of your videos and because of what you've chosen to do with your time and make these and, you know, post them and be as vulnerable as you are and try to help people, I know that you must not even know if you're actually helping people. I will remember you till the day that I die as the person that showed me what real love is. As the person that showed me what I deserve when it comes to somebody else. And I haven't been able to find that. But I just wanted to say thank you for making my nights easier and for making my path clear. Because that's what you've done for me. And I felt like you needed to know that. So thank you.